old school today. Like, this is going to be like a old school makeup tutorial. So much so, I'm actually starting with my makeup done to show you what you can expect in this video. It's going to be quite in-depth, a lot of talking, a lot of explaining myself and like reasons as to why. I feel like that this is just like must-have products and tips from me. No way am I like a super professional makeup artist when it comes to bridal makeup, but I used to work at MAC. I was surrounded by girls on counter that were freelance, that did a lot of brides, they sort of shared their tips. I've done my friend's makeup, bridal makeup once before. But at the end of the day, this is just how I would do my makeup on my wedding day if I was doing my own makeup. If I wasn't spending the money on a makeup artist, these are the products I would get, which I have like listed down below. We've got some new things in here, which I'm really excited about. I tried to do like a mix of what I think is like affordable, some of it slightly higher end, but in a way that it's like, I just don't think you should like cheap out on something like that. It is your wedding day after all, but it is your classic soft glam, effortless beauty makeup, which I think, yeah, perfect for brides, prom, or anything like that. Without making this video too long, I'm just going to jump straight into it. So many of you guys have been asking for this tutorial, so I really hope it lives up to what you were thinking it was going to be. I am so excited to do this glam, mainly because I just love sitting down, talking through, like that is really like where my main passion is. Like when it comes to makeup, it's actually really just like talking about makeup. And I wouldn't say like I was ever at one point like a fully, well, I don't know, you guys know I used to work at MAC, right? So I learned so much from all of the girls like on counter, as well as like, obviously you have to have MAC training, but a lot of the girls that worked at MAC were also freelance makeup artists. So sorry, what I think I was trying to say was I never became like a freelance makeup artist and like qualified myself in that way, but I learned so much from the girls that do. And like obviously they had like a lot of brides. I've done one of my friend's bridal makeup, so I feel like I learned a lot from doing that. But this is just how I would do my makeup, and obviously I said all of this in the intro, and just like my little tips and like things I would consider if, yeah, I was doing my own bridal makeup. But this doesn't have to just be bridal. This could be like prom, any special event, going to Tesco if you really want to go all out, but you know what I mean. And first things first, I think if you're doing your own bridal makeup, you just want to alleviate yourself of any stress. So I have tried to pick products that I think are like really easy to use. Also, if I was a bride doing my own makeup, I would get my brows tinted a week before. I just think with brows, it's quite easy to go heavy-handed. And if you get your brows tinted, it just means you have to do less with your brows. So that's something that I would consider. I know a lot of people get like a lash lift and things like that. I feel quite comfortable with my lashes to just curl and do mascara. But if you, again, like even mascara is a little bit scary for you, I would just, if I'm not spending the money on a professional makeup artist, I would spend the money on little things like that to make doing my own makeup a bit easier. I'd also get myself some good lighting. You can get really cheap lights from Amazon. Like it just, you want to make sure you're in a well lit area. Also, I feel like you want to take your body into consideration as well in terms of like, I don't know, glowy makeup for the body. You don't want it to be a product that's gonna in any way transfer any color. Little secret product, SPF on the skin gives such a gorgeous glow, and I really love this mist from Kopari. I mean, you could use any SPF, but this mist from Kopari, it's the Golden Sun Glaze Sheer Body Mist, SPF 50. It like has a golden sparkle, but it really doesn't transfer anything. I just think sometimes with like body oils and things like that, the risk of that getting on your dress, you don't want that. So either like just a moisturizer. Again, I just feel like, I don't know, I don't want anything to feel like sticky on my skin. And this is like a dry oil mist, gorgeous glow. I would put that on my shoulders. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, another product. I mean, I could mention this at the end. I'm just going through little things now. I would want to like carry around with me for the rest of the day or for any touch-ups. A little mini MAC Fix Plus. I take this even now everywhere with me to just give me a refresh. I need to get another one ASAP. Refresh of the makeup, especially if you're going to be going in with a lot of products. You do just want to make sure to like keep bringing life back to the skin, especially if you set with a lot of powder. Throughout the day, I feel like this is just going to be a savior for you. I love it. What else was I going to say? So tinting the brows, body spray. Get yourself some lights, fan on. I'm really sorry if that's going to upset you, if you can hear my fan in the background, but when you're surrounded by lights and you're in a stressful environment, you need to remain cool and calm. So I would get myself a fan if I was doing my own makeup as well. But let's jump straight into it. Sorry, a bit of a long intro, and it is going to be a very talk through, chatty makeup tutorial because I do want to educate at the same time as like just give my thoughts and opinions. Even though this is kind of like my way of doing it, I still want to speak through it in a way that it's like apply it how you will and use whatever you want. In a sense, I'm just, maybe it's like the way I'm doing it or the product I'm using it is for a specific reason, but you might want to switch that out. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to be being very chatty is what I'm trying to say. We are going to do the eyes first. Again, in my day-to-day makeup, I would probably be confident enough to do my skin and then my eyes. I just feel like, as a tip, eyes can be stressful, like lashes can be stressful, eyes can water, you can start crying. So like, let's do them first, even though I would probably do them afterwards. We're going to do them first, but I am going to do my like skin prep first, so it's got time to sit. You want to make sure your skin is clean, cleansed, exfoliated, all of that stuff. Any facials that you're going to get for your wedding, get them like a week before, so your skin has had time to heal and settle. I recently got this. It's the Road Glazing Mist. Did I spray it on my face this morning as soon as it arrived? Yes, and the glow that it gave me, sensational. I absolutely love the Road Glazing Milk. But I just thought a mist not only is going to give a gorgeous glow to the skin, but it's a bit more of like an easier product. Also, when it comes to the product, I've tried to do a mix of what I think is like affordable, but then some of it is slightly higher end, but I just feel like it's your wedding day. You want to invest in like amazing products for your skin, and if you're not spending the money on a makeup artist, treat yourself to a little makeup shopping spree. I will leave everything linked down below for you guys, but okay, this is a new product from Rode. Let's just spray the skin, and immediately it's glowy, it's beautiful. I am gonna actually go in, I was debating between these two. I always use the Maybelline Grippy Primer. It's from the drugstore, super affordable. It's a serum primer, so it's got skincare ingredients in it, and it's grippy, so the makeup's gonna last. That is something that I would recommend if maybe you've got oilier skin. But today I'm actually gonna use the Bobbi Brown Face Base. It's like a moisturizer primer type situation. I just think that this in combination with the mist, my skin already feels like, oh, just silky, glowy. And that's like, I think that's why so many of you like maybe want me to do a bridal makeup tutorial, because skin is something that I really take pride in. And I think a lot of you guys look at my skin makeup and think like, wow, it's not intentionally meant to look like bridal skin, but I just, yeah, I love the glow, and I feel like that's on your wedding day, you want that like beautiful glowing skin, which now I'm thinking about it, like if I actually ever do get married, like what is going to be the difference between my wedding makeup and the makeup that I've been wearing every day, like my whole life? Hopefully something, but either way, I'm now going to gel up my brows. This is obviously optional. Brows are very personal, which is why in a lot of makeup tutorials I don't include doing my eyebrows, because I just think everyone has their own way of doing brows. Some people have naturally full brows anyway, and you don't need anything. And if that's the case, I think if I was a bride, I would just probably run like a brow gel through them just to give some shape. Tinted or clear, depending on how dark your brows are. Like I said, I have tinted my brows today. My brows are tinted. I would actually recommend doing that to just alleviate yourself from any stress or like the potential of going too heavy-handed with a brow product. But I do like to go in with a clear brow gel just to like lock in the shape of my brow. So this is the NYX Brow Glue. Super affordable. One of my favorite brow gels. And for some reason, like just having them pre-gelled and like set in place when I go in with a brow pencil. Just makes things quicker and easier. And quicker and easier are keywords for doing your makeup, because that's what you want. You just want things to be quick and easy. But I think if I was a bride, I would allow myself at least 2 hours for my glam. Because even if I'm done sooner, like, I want to get pics. Obviously, I'm assuming I'm going to want to get pics on my wedding day, like. And just if anything was to go wrong, that just allows you a decent amount of time. Maybe even 2.5 hours. You never know. Right, so I've got these new products in from Morphe. They're like cream, like priming cream eyeshadow base. I just think creams are just a lot easier to like work with and blend with on the eyes. I am going to go in with a little bit of concealer. Not all over the lid, but just underneath my brows and like to drag it down a little bit. So I'm just going to carve. Like underneath the brow. And just drag that concealer down a little bit. Like that. And then just sort of diffuse it back down onto the lid. So now we've carved out the brow slightly, even though obviously we've not filled it in yet. We've like carved it out. Lightly, I would say, primed the eye, but we are going to go in with cream, so I don't like need to go in with like concealer all over the eye and then put another cream on the top. Like that's just, I think, just doing a little bit too much. A couple of cream products that I love. I love the Glossier eye paints. This one's in the shade June. It's slightly warmer. This one is called Solo Artist. I think I'm going to try this one because supposedly they're like a cream to powder formula. Also, if you're doing your own makeup, I would recommend investing in like a new set of brushes. I love MAC brushes, Morphe brushes, Doll Beauty brushes, Made by Mitchell brushes. There are some amazing brush sets out there. So this is the shade Solo Artist from Morphe. And I'm just going to buff that, into the crease. All the way in. Because we are going to carve out the crease slightly. All the way to the outer corner. And mainly sort of on the outer third of the eye. Again, great reason to do your eye makeup first. You can be as messy as you want. That's what I meant about like alleviating the stress. You can be as messy as you like and you're still able to clear it up. I'm just going to do like one eye for you guys and then do the other one off camera so it's quicker in terms of the video. But you do want to take it like from inner to outer corner. You always want to connect it here. Again, that was a tip that, I mean, I've kind of always known that, but I went to a Makeup by Mario masterclass and he also said that. He was like, I don't necessarily always contour the nose, but I always connect that eyeshadow to the nose. It's just going to make this part look narrower and that's just going to be a lot more flattering. But I personally, that is as dark as I'm going on my wedding day. I'm not doing a super dark cut crease. I've got... Wait, guys. Sorry, I just said that shade was Solo Artist. They're all called Solo Artist. I'm guessing that's the name of the product. Solo Artist. I just used the shade Mixtape. And we are going to use the shade Set List for a smoky liner. Sorry, I was getting mixed up. I was like, hang on, have I got two of the same shade? Right, I am then going to go in with, I think this shade. This is called Debut. It's another one of those products. It's giving MAC Painterly Paint Pot, which I know for a fact was a super popular, like, carving out the lid bridal shade when I was like watching the girls on my counter do bridal makeup. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the right brush to use right now. Where are my like gingy brushes? My MAC gingy brushes. Maybe I don't have them. in front of me, which is completely outrageous. What should I use instead? God, this is very, whoa, very unlike me. Maybe I'll just use a list brush. This one. Let's go with this one. So yeah, we're going to use like a cream. It's like a very pale pink type cream. And we're going to use this to essentially carve out 2/3 of our lid. I say it's pinky, it's just very neutral. I feel like you don't want to do anything too like bright and white, because then it just starts to look a little bit, I think, gimmicky. Like this is still going to brighten up the lid space, but it is just more of that pink undertone. And I love that these supposedly like they dry down to powder, which is going to make blending them so good. But you see, I just tapped that. I literally used my finger and tapped that to diffuse it into that crease color. But you can go back in with your brush. I'm not picking up any extra product, but just to make sure that that is blended. But they dry down to powder, which is amazing. Again, kind of why I was like, right, okay, I feel good to do like a bridal makeup look, because I've got all these new products at the moment, and I think they're just going to make life so much easier for people doing their own bridal makeup. I've got an eye bogey. I always have this thought, if no one tells me if I get married, like on my wedding day, that I've got an eye bogey, they're not my real friends. Like, hello. But this is what we should be looking like. Again, I've used 2 products and it was so easy. They've dried down to powders, which is amazing. But I think this is such a product that I would love to use, and I know a lot of girls do, is MAC Naked Pigment. MAC is just such an OG for like bridal glam. Like, you just can't go wrong. But yeah, MAC Naked Pigment. I'm going to press this over the top of where we just put that debut shadow, cream shadow. This has, it's like the perfect pinky neutral champagne. And yes, because it's a pigment, you might get some fallout. Again, another reason to do your eyes first. But with that being like a sort of creamy powdery product, this should just cling effortlessly onto the lid. And it's not super sparkly. And I'm going to give you guys an option here to like, you could just either leave it as that, if that's like enough sparkle for you. It's not for me. Oh no, I want to be absolutely dazzling on my wedding day. Don't know about anyone else. But we are going to highlight our inner corner. This is when I reach for my custom MAC eyeshadow palette, which again, I think if I was a bride, I would treat myself to. I would go into MAC and like swatch the shades in person, custom my own palette. I think you can still do that. I hope you can still do that. This eyeshadow though, is it MAC? Yes, MAC Vanilla eyeshadow is my absolute favourite inner corner highlight. But if you like something a bit more sparkly, nylon, shroom. Can you tell I used to work in MAC? I know the shadows off by heart. But yeah, just pressing this in the inner corner, because you want like a nice bright inner corner, like so. And then what else was I going to do? Should I do the liner then the sparkle, or the sparkle then the liner? I think let's do the sparkle then the liner. So for my sparkle of choice, I'm going to use, oh, just get that everywhere, this little duo from Patrick Tar. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. I think I might actually mix the two together. This is We Need Better Lighting. They are so like sparkly, and I just think pressed on top of your eye makeup. Obviously, you could get something that's a little more pink. It's just that reflex of glitter that, like, when it catches the light, I just think looks so beautiful, and like that's what I would want on my wedding day. I'm actually gonna mix these two together. Just on my index, is that my index finger? This finger. Mix those two together and press, mainly sort of in the center of my eye. But basically just where we put that pigment. Just for a little bit of that extra sparkle. Nothing crazy and gimmicky or glittery. I literally want to sparkle on my wedding day, literally, figuratively, and I just think that adds the most beautiful sparkle. They do come in like a few duo shades. I was going to use MAC Reflex pigment, but I know that they're quite hard to get hold of, but MAC Reflex Pearl pigment was, and still is, that girl. Nothing will beat her. But yeah, this is what we're looking like so far. I think so far, nothing crazy, nothing complicated. Everyone, are we all keeping up if we're doing it along? I feel like I've not done anything too hard or difficult just yet. You do not have to do an eyeliner. If you're like, I just think that's going to cause me stress on my wedding day, don't do it. Maybe a little bit of eyeshadow. I'm going to just use a darker shade of one of these cream to powders from Morphe. Again, Morphe, super inexpensive. I've got like loads of these colors. It's like a dark brown called Set List. I'm going to take like an angled brush, I think. And I'm going to brush a lot of that product onto the back of my hand. I'm not going straight in. I'm brushing a lot of it on the back of my hand. So obviously you want to make sure you're not getting ready in your wedding dress in case you just wiped it on there. Good old satin robe. That's what I would do. And then I like to start at the lash line. And you're basically gonna end or like angle it where like your brow tail angle would go. That's what I've always thought. And like swoop it in. You have to work quite quickly with these because like I said, they dry down to like a powder. But I just think having a little like smoky liner will just make your lashes pop. It will stand out a bit more in pictures, that sort of thing. And you want to take that into consideration. Obviously, it's your wedding day. You're probably going to have a lot of pictures taken. But the good thing is you can be as messy as you like along the bottom here. Look, I'm even doing it deliberately to show you like that is such a messy wing. But we can clear it up. And I love that this brown isn't a super dark brown. It's actually quite light, which I think is perfect. So it's looking super messy. Makeup wipes on deck, of course. Immediately, I'm washing it off my hand because I don't want that to get anywhere on me. Take the wipe and clean it up. Like so. Now I think I am going to go in with, I think what sort of shade? I think I'm going to use this shade, which, is this another MAC shade? MAC Saddle. So we've got vanilla. We've used vanilla and saddle, which I think anyone that is a professional makeup artist here would say, very popular MAC shades, probably for brides that people use all the time. And I'm just going to take a little shader brush, if I can find one. This will do. HMB. Again, also do really great brushes. Little shader brush. I'm just going to diffuse that on the top. Make it a little more smoky. Make it a little more blended. And again, back in with the wipe to clear it up. Like, that's what we're sort of looking like. But again, you can go back in with brushes that had shadow on, and just, if that's too heavy, just go back in and diffuse. I feel like this is the good thing about doing your eyes first, which I kind of always forget. When I don't do my eyes first, I'm kind of limited and I have to make sure I get it right every single time. But you never know when it's your wedding day, like what's going to happen. But this just allows you to go back in, customize it as much or as little as you like without affecting the skin or anything like that. But now I think that is probably about as drastic as I'd go. I'll probably end up having to re-highlight my inner corner when it comes to it and I've like done the skin makeup, because it kind of gets a little bit lost in translation. But this is when I would just curl my lashes and put mascara on, to be completely honest. And then we are going to do eyelashes, which, another tip, I will die on the individual lash hill, especially for brides, especially for anyone, to be honest. Strip lashes, just so much can go wrong. It pings off. If it's not 100% stuck down, if it's really hot outside, like you just never know. With individuals, I just think you can't go wrong. So I would start to practice doing my own individual lashes like a good few weeks before my wedding, just to make sure I'd got the technique down and I could actually do it. But we're going to curl the lashes. Obviously, always want to curl. And then, I mean, I didn't really consider about a waterproof mascara, to be honest, but you probably would want to use a waterproof mascara. It's your wedding day, probably going to cry. But I'm just going to use this Maybelline Bubble one because it's right in front of me. It's like Colossal Bubble, and it's new. And I used it yesterday, and it gave me really fluffy, beautiful lashes, and I feel like that's kind of the vibe. Like, it really separates. This wand doesn't apply too much product either. Also, a little tip, if for some reason you blink and you get mascara on your eye makeup, on your face, whatever, do not panic. Let it dry for like 5 minutes. You want to make sure it's 100% dried on your face. Q-tip, get that right off. Just don't panic and like want to get it off like while it's still wet, because then it'll smudge. Black will go everywhere. That's not what you want. Just let it dry. But you can see, let me move my light like this. Like, this is what we're looking like so far. Okay, and like, I think my lashes are quite long. There are just some sparse little gaps, and that is what I think and what I've learned. It's just what lashes should do. Like, if you're wanting to wear false lashes, obviously everyone's got different tastes. If you want massive lashes on your wedding day, you go, girl. I just think individuals are beautiful. I just want to enhance what I already have and like the natural beauty side of things. So I am going to lean into like my natural lashes. I'm just going to fill in the gaps with individuals. And when I say that these are individuals, like, they are literally singular lashes. If they ever discontinue these, I'll be absolutely devastated, because they are just perfection to me. And what I like to do is open my lash glue. I feel like it's really stuck together. And this is the Duo brush on adhesive. I think it's like really quick. I would probably use, well, actually maybe a black lash glue, because this does leave like a little white, but it does dry clear. So actually, no, never mind. Let's use this. I just dab a little bit on the lid of it. Did I just get it on my hand? No. I use tweezers like this, like very pointy, like precise, that's the word I was looking for, precise tweezers. And there's different lengths. You've got like the longest ones here, which is where I've taken a lot from. I think these are the longest ones. These two are the same length. That's a middle ground, and then these are like really short. There's like a real good variety of lengths. And I feel like you just look at your eye and make choices as you go. Mixing lengths as well, I just think gives you that like false lash effect. I take a little lash like this. The glue is on the back here. I apply the glue on like top of the lash, because I stick these underneath my lashes. I think if you're doing it yourself, that is the best way, because to try and get like an individual lash like on the top, I would put them on the top if I was doing it on somebody else, but this is a DIY makeup look, so like this is something I would do on myself. So I stick the glue on the top of the lash because we're going from underneath, trust me, and then just fill in the gaps. It's very fiddly. Sometimes if you've got leftover glue on the tweezers, I'm sat here screaming at myself for hours because the lash won't stick. But you can see, so quick, that just went on like that. Let me like shine the light right at me so you guys can fully see what is going on. I've just stuck that underneath, and that was a long one. Okay, I think I'm going to take a couple more long ones actually. Just want to pick up the lash, hold it by the end, glue on the top, fiddly stuff this, glue on the top, going from underneath, bosh, stuck it on. See what I mean? I promise you, they look harder than they are, and I just think they give the most natural, gorgeous effect. So that was 2 long ones on the end. I'm now taking the second to longest length. I'm just making my way in. You could go absolutely ham with these and give yourself like so many lashes, but I just think they're gorgeous. I'm now taking, ooh, that one just broke on me. I'm now taking one of these lengths, which is, as we're making our way in, slightly shorter. This is actually, this and eyebrows for me is like the longest part of doing my makeup. Ooh. That could have had a little bit of a longer one there actually. But that's the good thing about these little ones, is they're really easy to just like take it off. If like you've put one in the wrong place, or you're like, well actually that length doesn't really work there. And it's not committing to like a full strip lash, which a lot of the time there's like some parts of a strip lash that I like, there's some parts of a lash that I don't like. Finding like a full strip lash that you like is difficult. Oh, I've just ended up taking that one off. Like, you see what I mean? It's fiddly, you need some patience and practice, but honestly, once you start, you'll never go back to strip lashes. These are just the way forward. Like even that, I've put like 4 lashes on, like 2 long ones, a second to longest one, and a short one. I think that looks beautiful. And obviously we just wait for the glue to dry underneath. But that is all I would do for my bridal eye, okay? And I think it looks stunning. So let me just go ahead and do the other one. Okay, so these are the eyes, as you can see. I just think individual lashes are absolutely stunning, a must. They kind of look like my lashes. Obviously the glue will dry. The sparkle is sparkling. Obviously at the very end of the makeup, like once you've done the skin and stuff, if you want to go back in with like a brush to be a bit more precise with the eyeshadow sparkle, if you've lost a little bit or anything like that, super easy to do. It's my favorite part, it's skin. I think with skin, you do have to invest in products that are going to work for you. Obviously I spoke about the priming elements of it earlier. So I just think a holy grail for beautiful bridal skin is Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I am going to mix a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. As you guys know, there are so many like affordable dupes of this product and variations of this product. Obviously, I think this foundation is like £60 for foundation, but I just think you can't skip out on foundation. But I just thought with this, like I know there's dupes. Nothing really dupes this. It is beautiful. And I'm using the shade 6. I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. And this is the shade 4.5 medium of Charlotte Tilbury. Again, back of my hand. I'm just going to mix these together. You don't want to skip out really on coverage on your wedding day, but you don't also want to be caked. Like that's like my thoughts on like what I would want my skin to look like. And I'm going to go in with a brush that I can like pack on. The Mario brush, I think you just have to press and press. Avoid going right underneath the eye. Obviously we're going to have concealer. You want to avoid putting as much product on the under eyes as possible because you want to avoid the creasing. But pressing this into the skin, and I should have said this at the start, you want to, I think, make sure that you wet your beauty blender at the very start. So now actually by the time it comes to doing the skin makeup, it's dried a little bit. Going in, like obviously you should squeeze out a damp beauty blender anyway. But sometimes when you go in right away and it's still like a bit wet, it can like ruin your foundation, and that's not what you want. So you want it to have like had time to dry, maybe even wet it the day before. I'm not even joking. You just don't want it to be super, super damp straight onto your face. Personal preference, just my tip. But just pressing this on. I may not even go in with the beauty blender, to be honest, but it's just good to have that there in case you're like, okay, might just be a little bit too heavy. We're like dabbing around the eyebrows, between the brows. A brush just allows you to be a little bit more precise, I think. And this brush is so good. I have one of these for like cream blush as well. Just does all of the blending for you, I think. But obviously in combination with that skin prep, like look at my skin. Obviously need to make sure that we're going in with the ear, and I would 100% recommend using a foundation that, yes, you might have to like blend it down into your neck, but it's like maybe 1.5 shades darker than your natural skin tone. Oh my God, it just makes such a difference, especially if you're going to go in with powders and a brighter under eye. In pictures, you will thank yourself that you've worn something with a little bit more color, because flashback is real, bright lights is real. You're going to have like flash on you like all day. You just want to make sure that your foundation, yeah, isn't like too light for your skin, because it's only going to look lighter in pictures. Obviously, you don't want to go like too drastically darker that you're like blending like all the way down. But I'm sure a lot of people might get like a little spray tan, fake tan for their wedding and stuff anyway. So you want to make sure you're just color matching to your tan, maybe even a little, like half a shade darker. Still can make it blend, because you're going to lighten it with concealer. And yeah, it's only going to look brighter in pics. But yeah, you don't want to like match your foundation to your face color. If your body is a different color, always match to your body. But that, I think, is pretty perfect when it comes to the base. Again, let me get me makeup wipe and clean my hand, because we're not getting that product anywhere. Okay, concealer. Oh no, I like to do cream bronzer. I mean, it doesn't. Mario did concealer then bronzer. I normally do bronzer then concealer. Actually, do you know what? Let's do concealer first today. I really love this Kosas concealer. It's full coverage. It's hydrating. I say it's full coverage, but it doesn't feel it. And that is what you want, I think, on a day like today. And this is in the shade Illusion. It's got a slightly pinkier undertone. It's going to really help brighten, color correct. Again, back of the hand. Let's go in with a brush first, so we can be specific with our placement. Where's my concealer brush? I mean, this is one, but it's probably not the one I would have grabbed. This is just from Hourglass. Back of the hand. Press, press, press. Let's go underneath the eye. Focusing mainly under the eye and pressing. Not all the way up to the lash line just yet, okay? Just placing it here. Brushing it up. I like that slightly lifted look, so I follow the line of the eyeshadow that we did. But it's just so hydrating. It's not too much brighter than my skin. I am going to go in with a slightly lighter one, but this is just mainly, like I said, the pink is going to help brighten, color correct. I've just pressed that on. This, I think, is a must-have brush. Like, I've used it so much. It's a MAC 286 Duo Fiber. Now, underneath the eye, this is what we're going to use to blend it up there. Because, like I said, I didn't take the product all the way up. This is going to help avoid the creasing. Like that first brush, like packed it on and we got the coverage. This is just going to use, it's like our magic wand to be really delicate under the eye and diffuse it up under there. You see? Like, look at that under eye. Perfection. Suddenly doing my makeup the bridal way, like every day. So let's just do the other eye. Might need a little bit more product. It's going to be a lot of product on hand and wipe. That's just the way that it is. Any makeup artist would tell you that, like if they were doing it on you. Let's just do the other eye. I just think the under eyes are looking pretty damn flawless. I think I want them slightly brighter. I've done like the concealing element to it. It is like slightly lighter, but I just want a little bit more. I'm going to go in with the Glossier pot concealer. This is in the shade Very Light. I think I'm just going to take that same brush. Let's just make things easier. Straight into the pot. Back of the hand just to tap off any excess. Get my mirror. Where did it go? There we go. Just press that right under the eye. Just to brighten. Like so. And then I'm actually going to take my sponge. My sponge is actually pretty much dry at this point. I wet it yesterday. And I'm just going to use that to like press that into the skin. Love that. Right, let's do some cream bronzing. Wipe my hand. These are two new products for me, but absolutely love them. We're kind of going to cream contour and bronze. So I got this new in the post. This is from Natasha Denona. It is a high sculpt liquid bronzer in the shade, oh my god, it doesn't say. Oh, Drenched Medium Natural. This was giving very cool tone to me. So I've just squirted a little pump on the back of my hand. I'm just going to take a little brush. Like I said, cool tone. So we're going to cream contour with this. So I'm only going to put this really on my cheekbone. I'm really using this to create the illusion of a shadow. This brush is really nice. It's Morphe. This Morphe brush set is absolutely massive. Do you know what? I'd just get that. If I was just buying new brushes for myself, I'd get this Morphe brush set. But this is the M204 Cream and Liquid Blush. But for concealer, I mean for any like cream cheek product, I think this works. You see? A little bit more. I'm just using this as kind of like the contour. Even maybe on like the chin. I'll contour the jawline. This is what I would use this for. Like so. And then this is very new and I'm so excited. And again, it's sort of like inspired me to say like, okay, like I feel like I want to film the bridal makeup tutorial because the Mitchell Holly Flynn collection, like the new curve case, is gorgeous. And this cream bronzer shade just sold me because it was just the most beautiful, soft cream bronzer shade. And she was like, and it's got a little bit of sparkle to it. And I thought, if that isn't like what you want your cream bronzer to look like on your wedding day, I don't know what is. So again, this is another one of the brush from that Morphe brush set. I've just put my finger in that. red shade, oops. I just like to take the brush and take the cat hairs out of there. Go straight into the product. But I use the lid and just sort of like tap it out. And then go on. And this is a lot more of that warm cream bronzer colour. So this is what we're going to take around the forehead, where we want to like warm up. And like lay this on top of, like, so actually just slightly above that cream contour. And again, it's this balmy formula that I love about the curve cases, because they just blend and melt into the skin. And look, it just like, you can't go too heavy handed with it. I just think it's beautiful. And like having that cooler tone and this warm bronze. I tried this actually yesterday when I was doing my makeup, and I was like, that is perfection. Perfection. Like, I barely needed any of that. And it's blended like an absolute dream. This is when I think you would go back in with like foundation brush or anything like that. Just making sure to diffuse. And that's why I think investing in your brushes is a must. Because you want good brushes that make things easy for you. Like, just everything needs to be diffused and blended and beautiful. And I think that's what this is giving. Okay, now we want to powder. I'm going to go ahead and say this is like one of the best powders. They do loads of different shades, so you'll find one good for you. I'm just obsessed with the shade Sugar Cookie, and I think for your wedding day, you probably should bake under your eyes. I'm going to lightly dust powder everywhere else, but for the wedding day, I think you gotta bake under the eyes. But again, onto the puff, back of the hand for a lot of, well, not a lot of, but like just tap the product off so you're not going too crazy under the eyes. And then you want to press. This is a powder puff from Morphe as well, and I think it's just the perfect like tapered shape to get right up under the eye. Like, I'm sorry. Look at that. It's flawless. Absolutely flawless. Absolutely flawless. Da-da-da-da-da. That's another thing as well. If I was doing my own ready makeup, I'd have to have a like a getting hyped wedding playlist. Ovs. Right, let's do the other under eye. Just gonna pack that on, like press. Sometimes I just like to take whatever's left on the puff and just like smack my face with it. And then, just with a light powder brush, kind of take what's like on the lid, and I just like dust that all around. If you obviously have like oily skin, you kind of got to like, at this stage when it comes to the powder, you know your skin best. If you know makeup like does not last on your top lip, powder puff your top lip, you know, like you know where you sweat and where your makeup disappears from. Obviously with setting sprays and things like that, we can do a lot of the work, but yeah, just powder where you know you need to powder. But so far the skin is skinning. I'd be very happy with myself. I'd be like, yes. Who needs to spend like £10,000 on a makeup artist? Not me. Right. This, I fear, would just never change for me. Although, you'll be surprised, I'm not using Benefit Hoola bronzer. Just wanted to use something different. I picked up a little Made by Mitchell little sculpting book. Why not? And this shade, Praline, as my contour color. Love. So now you just want to go in essentially with basically powder products of the cream products that you've just done. This is going to help just bring them back to life, enhance them. I'm going to take a little brush with that praline and come down my nose. I just liked this particular shade because even though I love Benefit Hoola. This is just a slightly like lighter shade of that. So again, I'd rather go in with lighter shades that I can build up than going in with something too heavy off the jump and I can't blend it in. You can always add, it's much harder to take away. That is something I would also note when doing my own bridal makeup. So that's why I wanted to use that one today. Again, with bronzer, this medium tan from MAC. It's just the best bronzer. Especially if you've got fairer skin. But in terms of like, it's not orange. Like the undertone of it is so neutral. You can really build this up to get that warm colour if that's what you want. But I do recommend getting your wedding day bronzer from this collection, the MAC Mineralized Finish powders. They do have some bronzer shades like that they formulated for bronzer, like Give Me Sun and things like that. I just find them to be so orangey and warm that actually just finding one that's part of the skin tone range, because it's meant to be a face powder, the undertones are just perfect, I think. And the Mineralized range is designed to work with the oils of your skin, so blends like an absolute dream. It's like not a chalky powder at all. It's beautiful. Like even as a face powder. Like I reckon actually if I got like a light colour of that as an under eye powder would be absolutely gorgeous. But you can see I'm bronzed. I've warmed up my complexion, but it's not orange. It's very neutral. Now, absolute non-negotiable. Seriously, Global Glow. If you've got darker skin, Gold Deposit. If you've got lighter skin, I still think you could get away with Global Glow, because Soft and Gentle is a little bit more of that like champagne, like it's a bit too like highlightery. Shimmery bronzer, specifically MAC Global Glow or Gold Deposit. I can't explain to you how much you will thank yourself for using this product and incorporating this product into your makeup. Even if you're getting professional makeup done, I would buy this in case your makeup artist doesn't have it in their kit, and tell her or him or them to put it on me. Big brush. This is a MAC. Bollocks. Can't see. I know people do dupes. I'm sure H&B Cosmetics has a dupe. Oh no, here we go, wait. A MAC 135. See, these are my two MAC ones from when I was on counter. This brush, oh my god, let's like look at the difference, okay? Like obviously I do have a bit of shine. Over the top. Light hand. Mainly focus on the forehead. Flat, dull. Ah, bronzed. Ready for photos. Golden glow. You have to do this. It just adds a little bit more warmth. I know I was like praising how like neutral that bronzing and contouring that I just done was, but it's because I know I'm going in with this to add that glow and that warmth. I just think it's perfect. I've explained to myself so many times on why I think it's perfect. Like for photos especially. Sorry, I'm looking for my powder puff. Is it in my lap? Yes, it is. It just adds like the appearance of a fresh face of Botox, which not encouraging anyone to do it, but it do just be making your face glowy and shiny. It's literally why people get it. And tight and radiant and bronzed, and in pictures it just has that gorgeous like catching of the light bronziness that I haven't found another product to do. Like stunning. So now we're here. Now it is cream blush, and I am debating basically the whole Holly Pop made by Mitchell range is that perfect bridal pink. So I think we're gonna do that. Let's do I want this to use this one? Yeah, I think I prefer the formula of these, but we are also gonna dip into that blue tone pink because there's not going to be a bridal makeup look without a blue tone pink for me, but like look how gorgeous. It's just that gorgeous neutral flush of pink. And you guys know me, I always tend to use like two creams. I like to use the darkest one right here and take a light bluey pink here. I just think it looks stunning. So taking a little brush, again, this is another Morphe brush, M202, tapping excess off into the lid. So this is the My Darling Lip and Cheek Stain Tint from the new Made by Mitchell Holly Flynn. We're going to place it here. Very light brush. Oh my god, it's stunning. Wow. I'm like, look how light I'm being. Literally like this. You can't go wrong if you're light-handed. I don't even think that's picking up, like on camera, how gorgeous this is. You could just leave it like that. Wow. 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 It's so pretty. And with shades like this, they do pretty much complement like every skin tone. Obviously, if you're darker, you would sort of get this slightly darker, lighter, slightly lighter. It is that muted peach. That's kind of what you want. It's like a muted pinky peach blush. And it just looks incredible on everyone, I think. Maybe a little tap on the nose. Oh my god, I've got to get married. I've got to get married right now. Right now. But like I said, I do like to take that blue tone pink. It's completely optional. If you're like, okay, let's just leave that there, then leave it there. But I do just like a bit of bluey toned pink. Just trying to think what brush to use. Let's use this one. This is another part of the Holly Flynn Made by Mitchell collab. This shade here, Betsy. Wow. Blue toned pink colour of dreams. Back of the hand with this one. These ones are slightly more dewy as well. You can see it there. Gag it. Fucking gag it. Like, gorgeous. And with a brush like this, it's sort of rounded and helps you diffuse. Basically, just here, on the cheek. Very light hand. Press, not blend. We're just dabbing. Almost like blending it into that under eye. I always think, I feel like people probably can't see what that's done. But to me, it's done everything. Adds a bit of glow. Blend it up into that peach. Beautiful. Let's wipe the hand. Okay, let's not get too cray-cray. I will say though, I do like to go back in with a puff and just making sure that directly under my eye is all completely set. It's all blended. But for me, that is perfection, like pure perfection. Right. I am also now going to take these, which I think I mentioned in another video. Like I said, if I was doing bridal makeup, like these products are absolutely like a must because they are gorgeous. They are the Extra Dimension blushes. This is in Hushed Tone. This is going to complement that My Darling shade that we put up here. And you guys can tell what we're doing with this. This is Into the Pink. We're going to lay that here. So, again, back in with a blusher brush. Back in with a blush brush. Let's use things that are like this size though, because they are, I am sort of using this as like highlighter, but it's like a highlighter to complement the blush that we've just done. So let's take Hushed Tone. Tap a lot of it off, they're quite pigmented. It's almost like a bronzed, that bronzing technique. This Hushed Tone as well is like such a nice holiday colour. And then Into the Pink. Do you know what? I kind of just like the Into the Pink. They're just like super glowy. I'd say like blusher toppers. You could just completely use them on their own, but Into the pink. That Into the Pink one is very like highlightery, I will say. The Hush tone you could use on its own, but Into the Pink is definitely like highlightery. Like I said, I go back in with sponges, puffs, no additional product. It's just merely for blending. So far, this is what we're looking like. I am going to take a little bit of Soft and Gentle because I just realised I haven't done my like central highlighting, which is like on the tip of my nose, down the brow, here, between the brow is nice. A little bit on the cuticle glow. Like so. I mean, all of these steps are like I said, totally optional in terms of like, add what you want, don't do that step. I'm just doing all of it because I'm extra. Like, for example, one of my favorite things to do is actually use like a liquid highlighter to highlight my brow bone. You could also use this on your face, but I just love these drops under my brow bone. I should probably actually do my brows at some point. I don't know, I just prefer that over a powder. I don't know why. And now I'm also debating, I think I am going to, which is put a little bit of my bronzer, medium tan, under my eyes. It's so soft and subtle, I think it's just going to tie it all together. Small shader brush. It's also going to make your eye colour just pop. Connects everything round. But I know a lot of people like to just leave their under eyes completely clear. For me, I just think it adds a little bit of warmth. Ties it all together. Guys, it is looking good. It is looking good. Right, I am going to do my eyebrows. And I'm literally just going to use a micro brow pencil. I like to use Precisely My Brow. Let's actually use Precisely My Brow. This is the shade 5. Like I said, we have already gelled the brows, so light strokes. And I would honestly just use this pencil, fill in any gaps. I obviously like to extend my tail of my brow. At not one point am I like dragging this pencil through in like one long motion. It's just lots of little strokes. You want it to look as natural as possible, like even when doing the tail. And again, when it comes to the front, up, 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 up. Start at the root, work your way up. The brush of your pencil is going to be your best friend as well. You just brush product through. I know a lot of MUAs quite like to use powder. And I definitely would use powder as well on someone, or if my brows were like super sparse and like had lots of gaps that needed to be filled in. But I feel most comfortable and confident with a pencil. But yeah, I also would recommend definitely getting your brows tinted because I feel like I've barely filled my brow and it's done because that tint that I have basically did a lot. But let me go ahead and do the other brow. These are the brows, and now we're just basically, before like we set the face, onto the lip. And I feel like your bridal lip is going to be very personable to you. Some people like a darker nude, some people like a light nude. I kind of like, I don't know, like somewhere in between. Sorry, there's going to be a lot of mixing involved, okay? And I think I would use like, not like a lip stain, but like I want a long-lasting lip liner. Oh my god, why won't this sharpen? There we go, because my hands are all slippery. But a product I've not used in a long time, but I love the colour so much. The Maybelline On It lip liner. It does not budge, okay? And it's my perfect, like one of my perfect nude shades. Oh my god, it's like kind of melted. Okay, you want to make sure maybe you put your lip liners in the fridge. But there's going to be a lot of mixing, a lot of blending. So I just like to like line with this and diffuse it in. And then take a little brush. Where's my lip brushes? Just like a little shadow brush. Just make sure that's all blended, like so. And hopefully that is going to last us, okay? I'm going to take a little bit of Fluffy, which is new from, again, the Made by Mitchell Holly Flynn collection. Slightly darker, I think. Just to define my Cupid's bow and underneath slightly. So that's what the lines are looking like. This, I think, is the most perfect bridal lipstick. I used it on my friend when I did her wedding makeup. It's glossy. It is called Thanks, It's MAC. I'm sure it went viral on TikTok like for that specifically because it's just the most gorgeous, glossy, neutral nude. And obviously because it's 9, I'm going to go straight onto the lip. Like, look at that. Like, I think that's beautiful. Thanks, it's MAC. And you could just leave it there and be like, this is my wedding makeup and it looks gorgeous. But I like mine a little bit light and a little bit nude. Like, that's just who I am. And this is my glam, my bridal glam. So I'm actually going to mix together the shades Cotton Candy and I think this is Cantaloupe from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Back of the hand. I also, it's mainly because I saw someone do a bridal makeup tutorial. Did I tell you, like, on TikTok, and I basically bought everything that she used. And she used this Cantaloupe gloss and I just thought it was stunning as a nude lip gloss lover. So back of the hand, I'm just going to mix those two shades together because I kind of want that bluey toned pink to tie in with the blush with a brush. But I have to have a glossy lip on my wedding day. I'd have to tell my husband in advance, like, I'm sorry, honey. We're going to be glossy. We're going to be glossy. Right. This is when you look in the mirror and decide. Do I need anything else? I might go in with my little inner corner vanilla shade, but I think I would be very happy with this. Very happy. Now we spray. We cherie. Why is mine leaking everywhere? Don't piss me off. I'm going to go ahead and spray our face with this to add hydration. Just make sure everything is melted into the skin. I am quite heavy-handed with that. And it is going to be very glowy on the skin. So don't be alarmed. Sorry, I've suddenly got no space. Like, there's the lid. Where's my fan? Here. I could like sit and do this for hours. And you can see I'm now looking very shiny, but then you want to just take your puff and a little bit of powder. So if there's like any in the lid or anything like that, just a light tap. And now like just go over. For me, it's mainly like down the center of my face where I want to not be shiny. On my chin. Basically like that. And if you're worried about your makeup moving, this is when I would go in with like a one size setting spray or the L'Oreal mist to lock everything in. I'm not going to do that today, but I probably would. But I would do it from a big distance to just give yourself that final set of mist. Luckily, my makeup, I think, can withstand, but that is something that I would add if I had like really oily skin, prone to my makeup coming off, that sort of thing. Guys, I think this is it. I'll move into a different light so you can like properly see it. Like, I think this is perfect. Like, this is what I would want my wedding makeup to look like. And I feel like, I know it's a long video, I was talking through a lot, but in terms of like the steps and the ease of it all, I think that was pretty straightforward. Like, I tried not to overcomplicate it. I mean, add or take away what you want from it. I've listed everything down below. I really hope you found it helpful. Obviously, this is like bridal inspired, but it's kind of like any sort of special occasion makeup, birthday makeup, prom makeup, whatever makeup. Yeah, just try to include some like tips, tricks, things to consider if you are going to be doing your own bridal makeup. So I really hope you found it helpful. I hope you love the makeup. Obviously tailor it to how you like it in terms of like tones and things like that, but in terms of the process and everything, that's what I would do. Yeah, really hope you loved it. If you are doing your own makeup and you use this, please let me know, because that will just make me like burst into tears. But yeah, I hope you liked this tutorial. I did ask on my Instagram stories if you guys wanted to see like bridal makeup or like a beach glam makeup, and by the time I'd like looked at my phone, bridal was winning. But I did just look and like beach is now winning, so I'm like, oh. Either way, I will do the beach girl makeup. I've just done this one first. So yeah, I hope you love it. Let me know if you recreate it. It's all down below. And yeah. Oh, I just need to get married now. Anyway, love you guys. Bye.